Chi volunteers have officially started preparing for the year-end blessing ceremony red envelopes. Around 100 officials and partners shows up to the reopening ceremony of the newly renovated recycling center. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Chen. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi volunteers have started to prepare for the 2018 year-end blessing ceremony. Right now, tons of volunteers are in the process of putting together the iconic red envelopes of blessing and wisdom. This year's design is a bit more complicated than previous years, which requires more tender loving care. Some volunteers have even resorted to using magnifying glasses to complete the task. Here's a sneak peek to some of this year's intricate details.
This year's red envelope of blessing and wisdom have a very special commemorative coin, with one side being the Tzu Chi hospital and other being the Buddha treating the ill. Zhou Zhenbang spent a lot of time making a template and even provided magnifying glasses to help elderly volunteers assemble these red envelopes.
You can see that this year's design is more detailed, so we prepare a template. This is more accurate, and please don't move this, as use both hands to lower it into position.
Some use reading glasses along with a magnifying glass to perform top quality work that passes the strictest quality control. When it comes to folding the red envelopes, all four corners have to be sanded down, which requires attention to detail.
Because these four corners are a little thicker, we're afraid that people will get scratched when they receive it, so we first sand it down a little.
At the Tzu Chi Banqiao grounds, volunteers accept the guidance from Dharma masters and are equally careful and focused.
Every year I come to do this work. I'm already used to this. I pay attention and use my heart to do this work.
I'm very happy to do this. I'm very excited and I like to do it very much every year.
There's happiness in doing this handiwork, and it also requires a lot of patience.
Do it with a little bit of heart. Let it become a seed of goodness. I want to radiate happiness for those who receive this red envelope of blessing and wisdom.
At Tzu Chi's Taipei's Eastern office, a number of college students come every year.
We should be careful when we work and be more patient. It helps calming down to do things.
This activity is also a good way to recruit community volunteers.
When they have a problem, we have to be careful to correct them. It requires a lot of skills.
Everyone is happy, and this work will eventually bring great blessings and wisdom to those who receive this gift.
In Johor Bahru, Malaysia, a water repentance performance has successfully concluded. What made this occasion extra special was that many people of the Indian descent were among the audience members. Not only did they have to overcome language barriers in order to understand the performance, but they wholeheartedly dedicated themselves toward the deeper meanings of the sutra verses. This is truly a perfect example of cultivating our minds.
Say good things, think good intentions, do good deeds, and walk the right path.
These are all Indian-born volunteers who do not understand Chinese, but they still attended the water repentance performance and have studied the sutra like other Chinese volunteers.
I never knew how many bad things I did, as I didn't know about cause and effect which I had planted. Participating in this water repentance performance let me know water can wash this away. This lets us learn about how to take care of life and change the mistakes we made before.
This is the first time that she has participated in such a large-scale Buddhist activity, and she made a special wish.
After I participated in Tzu Chi activities helping others, I felt quite good about myself. If I can, I hope to always be a volunteer to help people throughout my life. I want to participate in helpful activities.
Another Indian Tzu Chi volunteer is Vijaya. She brought her husband to study sutras.
Apa yang you buat tak baik, you akan bawa bersama. Nanti hajat lain you datang bawa, you kena bayar 2-3 kali.
Though they don't understand Chinese, an explanation by volunteers makes them more determined to join Tzu Chi.
If I can, I want to introduce one person a month to Tzu Chi.
Saya India, orang Chinese pun
Although I'm Indian and you are Chinese, we are still friends despite coming from different races. I like to help people as it's useless to sit at home.
Tolong orang lagi suka lah, duduk rumah apa ada guna.
The Dharma originated from India, and now Chinese and Indian volunteers work together to present the Buddhist sutras, adding a more distinctive meaning to life.
Back in mid-September, Hurricane Florence ravaged through North Carolina without any mercy. Tzu Chi volunteers quickly mobilized a disaster relief team and went to the hardest-hit disaster sites to assess the damages. That was when they found out there were still many residents' homes soaked in the remaining floodwater. The shops weren't open for business, and more than half of the population was still without clean water and power. Thankfully, Tzu Chi volunteers will be continuously caring and assisting the affected residents.
We literally live right across the street. We've been here for several years and we've never seen water like this before. This whole thing is a parking lot, actually, and it goes all the way up to the docks. So it's probably at least 6 feet underwater and lots of dead fish in here right now.
We've been here about 20 years, so we've never ever seen anything like this before. And we had no phone, no internet, no cable. We didn't really know what was going on, and the storm went for a good 3 to 4 days.
We went to our local grocery here, and they still don't have dairy, they don't have meat, they're not even open, actually. Overall, it's not that much we can buy. That's pretty challenging. No air conditioning, so it's hot. I've been through 8 hurricanes, nothing like this. Yeah, this is the worst one.
Drinking water, none of us are drinking the water. This neighborhood is on well water, so it's a little scary. I do know that I have a lot of friends that have lost everything, so there are a lot of people in need.
We've had FEMA insurance, so we're going to be doing fine. Some of the people around here did not have it, so they're not as well off. I've got it well off compared to a lot of them. The only other flood we had was in 2005, and it come up to the 4th step on the porch. This time we had 19 inches of water in the house. So we had a boat come, and the water was high enough the boat could pull right up here on the porch. We got in the boat and went down the street.
My brother-in-law lives over this bridge, and he can't get anywhere. The other day it took him 3 hours to take my mother-in-law home, and she lives 14 minutes away. The roads are all closed, the bridge is closed, so he's stuck in his house.
In the aftermath of the Indonesia earthquake, Team Up volunteers were finally able to board military aircraft to travel to the hardest-hit area of Palu. They brought with them 200 kilograms of medical supplies and 4 tents. Besides assessing damages, volunteers also discussed follow-up assistance with the military. Meanwhile, Makassar Tzu Chi volunteers continue to care for the injured survivor evacuees in the local hospitals. They are planning to distribute financial assistance to help the affected residents. Let's check out the latest status.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Team of volunteers waits at the airports for military aircraft to take off. They are heading to Palu, the hardest hit area. However, their trip was delayed as they were only able to board the plane until noon. At the same time, nearly 200 kilograms of medications were also delivered to Palu airports. Seeing that many patients were still waiting to be transported, volunteers immediately held a meeting with the military to discuss follow-up assistance. Meanwhile, in Makassar, volunteers were preparing aid supplies. They also went to a local hospital to care for earthquake survivors. Most of the injured patients have a few bruises and fractures. When recalling the earthquake, they still have a lingering fear. However, they will feel grateful for being able to survive the disaster safe and sound.
When we cared for them, we did not hear the affected residents complaining. Instead, they felt very grateful for being able to survive the disaster and receive assistance.
The hospital aisles are now full of aid supplies. Volunteers are planning to distribute emergency financial aid to quake survivors.
We saw that there are already many aid supplies delivered from many other places. Therefore, we want to provide financial aid to them so that they can use the money to buy the needed supplies in Makassar.
Ever since 2016, Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center has been providing medications for child patients with tuberculosis. It also trains DAAI observers who monitor the TB patients as they take their daily medications. Recently, the Filipino government has also joined in the efforts with Tzu Chi, hoping to help more patients in the Philippines.
Cleaning the streets is Catherine's job. She heads to work early at 6 a.m. since she has to deliver medications to children at 7 a.m.
In the family, there are 2 girls and a boy. Hannah May, the youngest child, is raised by her grandmother.
Good morning.
Hannah, who's only 8, has contracted tuberculosis or TB. After seeing the doctor, both Hannah and her grandmother were told they have to take TB medications.
A set of medication costs $9. Purchasing the medications will only be possible after my grandchild gets his salary and deducts the cost from our daily expenses.
Since the family cannot afford the medications, the child will not be able to heal. Fortunately, Catherine has brought hope for the family.
She can go to school now, and she has gained weight. She's no longer ill all the time. The medications provided by Tzu Chi has helped us a lot.
However, in 2012, San Mateo was flooded and the floodwater rose above the embankments. Catherine was among the residents who were affected by the flood.
Ilang araw po yung tubig po noon nabaha.
Back then, for several days, the water did not recede. After the water receded, we saw so much mud and garbage pile up.
Putik, basura.
Due to climate change, the floods have become more and more devastating over time. In addition, the dirty environment has also become the perfect breeding ground for a variety of diseases.
And people who go through the floodwater will develop this kind of bacterial infection called leptospirosis. And people can die because of this.
Since cleaning up the environment is the most important first step, Tzu Chi initiated a work for relief program in San Mateo.
The people here are basically very resilient, but because of Tzu Chi Foundation, they were able to transform. Some of the members of our volunteers that time became Tzu Chi volunteers.
It wasn't until Catherine received her first salary for participating in the Work for Relief program was she finally able to let go of her doubts about Tzu Chi.
After participating in the Work for Relief program, some of us girls wanted to join Tzu Chi and do recycling, as well as go visit the elderly residents.
Home visit din po sa mga elderly.
Catherine started to do recycling and then joined volunteer training classes. In 2016, she became a DAAI observer hired by Tzu Chi.
Sometimes we need to trade in water to go care for the patients, but I do not mind as long as the patients can get their medications.
The DAAI observers' efforts are very moving. However, the patients saved by individuals are still quite limited. According to the 2016 statistics by the World Health Organization, the Philippines is ranked as the 4th country with the highest instance of TB. On average, 300,000 people are diagnosed with TB every year.
Ever since I started 2001 in the municipality of San Mateo, TB has been there and we never got zero TB. There's always TB nationwide.
Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center will be undertaking the Ministry of Health and Welfare's new medical development plan. With Tzu Chi Philippine chapter's experience as its foundation, the medical center hopes to develop more medical exchange opportunities.
We can have much more advances in the cardiology, brain surgery, the eye surgery here, yeah, very excellent eye surgeons, spine surgeons, etc.
There is a huge gap between the medical standards in the rural areas and the cities of the Philippines. Tzu Chi can bring our medical skills and humanistic spirit, especially Tzu Chi's great love spirit, to the Philippines.
The medical professionals uphold their oath not to permit considerations of creed, ethnic origin, nationality, political affiliation to intervene between a doctor's duty and his patient. Tzu Chi's medical assistants will continue to benefit patients in all the forgotten corners of the Philippines.
The Singapore Tzu Chi Eco-Awareness Center has officially reopened its doors. It has been a little bit over half a year since the renovation project started. Around 100 officials and partners showed up to the ceremony and praised Tzu Chi on their dedication to environmental protection. The center is now filled with vivid displays and interactive activities for the public to engage in. It's with great hope that the center will make a difference in teaching the public about what they can do to take part in saving Mother Earth.
1, 2, 3.
The Singapore Tzu Chi Eco-Awareness Center, with the support of the Environment and Water Resources Minister and other VIP guests, is officially reopened.
It's a wonderful place because it is a ground-up initiative, and therefore I hope more people will come to this place to see actually how waste can be turned into valuable resource, only if we take a little effort.
Singapore has not established.
The Tzu Chi Eco-Awareness Center opened back in 2014. Other than collecting and sorting recyclable goods, many organizations and schools would often visit to learn by doing. In order to make environmental protection concepts clear for the public, volunteers spend more than half a year renovating the center, aiming to make the new displays more vivid and interactive.
Our Eco-Awareness Center used to be just posters and panels of information on environmental protection. These types of displays are easily forgotten by the public after their visit. That's why we decided to renovate the place, so now it's filled with interactive activities to enhance their memory on the subject.
I think actually the materials are all very well thought out, and the way we communicate with the public is quite easy to understand. So I think we should continue to reach out to all the different neighborhoods, so that everybody gets to hear the message.
Tzu Chi volunteers are very enthusiastic. They really are dedicated in teaching community members the accurate information on how one can protect the environment. This is very important because if everyone is conscious about protecting Mother Earth, then recycling efforts can be more efficient.
About 100 partners attended the reopening ceremony, and everyone is dedicated in contributing their part in protecting Mother Earth. Turning our cameras back to Taiwan, the Social Affairs Bureau of the Kaohsiung City government has held a camp especially for the children of new immigrant families. In the camp, the children learned all about different cultures and also weave many reusable bags with various colorful strings. Let's check out their creative products.
Drawing and guessing the countries, these kids are the children of new immigrants.
I've learned a lot about different cultures and foods.
Their mothers come from Vietnam, Indonesia, China, etc. Although each country has its own costume, they all value the importance of environmental protection.
先随便选一条线。好了吗？先对折。
Do not underestimate the thin hem ropes, as the children will use them to weave reusable bags.
People do not provide plastic bags when you buy drinks now, so I can use this to carry the drink.
It is eco-friendly. Using this, I won't be wasting plastic bags, which damage the environment.
Liang Youqi, whose mother is from Vietnam, weaves especially fast. Her mother has been teaching her about reusing recycled resources.
My mother makes bags, tissue boxes, or handbags with packaging straps. She thinks they are eco-friendly, and she also teaches me to make them.
We might not need to teach them what happened in a certain country. We just make sure they respect the cultures of different countries.
As these children learn to make reusable bags, they've also learned that protecting the environment is the responsibilities of all people, regardless of ages or nationalities.
Tzu Chi Santong Grounds organizes regular health checkups for the community senior citizens. Medical services include hearing, vision, prevention of dementia, and physical fitness testing. On top of that, the 62 nursing students from the Cardinal Tian Junior College of Healthcare and Management were happily there to serve the elderly population. The interactions between the students and the seniors were great learning experiences for the up-and-coming medical professionals. They felt a sense of accomplishment and have vowed to dedicate themselves in serving the population with the most needs. Mixing both Mandarin and Taiwanese together to communicate with the senior citizens, did they really understand? The environment in which the younger generation is exposed to is vastly different. The nursing students, while serving the elderly, quickly realized that they needed to work more on their Taiwanese.
When I am speaking to everyone, there is still some language barrier. It's because my Taiwanese is really not so great. So I really think that I need to work harder on my Taiwanese. This way, I will be able to communicate more smoothly and efficiently in the future.
At the Tzu Chi Santong Grounds, there are regular physical fitness testing for the community elders. This time, 62 Cardinal Tian Junior College of Healthcare and Management students came to help out with the event. It was a great learning opportunity.
An elderly person could be walking and then accidentally take a fall or just keep on moving forward. It's in these moments that we really need to help them out with their walking patterns. We also need to be observant to see if their faces are pale or not. We need to always be alert about the status of their overall health situations.
I live at home with my grandparents, but I never thought that I needed to help them with anything. I was already used to them being able to function on their own. Being here has made me realize that there are still many different areas that the elderly population needs our aid in. Therefore, after this event, when I get home, I will start helping my grandparents around the house more.
My parents will get to this age one day too. They will be in the same state like these grandma and grandpas today. We are serving the elderly because they need our services. There really are a lot of senior citizens in Taiwan at this moment. At least seeing that everyone here are still in pretty good health, it makes me very happy.
Guided by teachers and volunteers, the nursing students felt very accomplished and have now a strong sense of mission for their future roles in society. The Dominican Republic Liaison Office went to the Tzu Chi La Romana school to conduct a back-to-school distribution for the students. Items included sportswear and school supplies. The children were ecstatic and so grateful for Tzu Chi's ongoing love and care. Thank you for watching, and please keep on praying for the affected residents of the Indonesia earthquake. Let's hope there are no more disasters in the world. See you next time.